Bit of left-wing whiplash the past few days. Liberals went from first claiming President Trump was somehow hospitalized and near death, not true, of course, pretty ghoulish and wrong, to then accusing him of being basically an evil genius, a maniac about to launch a nuclear war, to now alleging today his peace deal just isn't good enough. Listen to ABC's Jimmy Kimmel, who compared this week's events to Taco Tuesday, taco for Trump always chickens out, which of course is not true, but the left pushes their narratives. Watch.
So all day today, everyone, most notably the people of Iran, were wondering if their civilization was going to die tonight. Well, good news, it didn't. It was the Taco Tuesday of all Taco Tuesdays as our president decided not to drop the chalupa for at least another 2 weeks.
The host of the Rubin Report, Dave Rubin, is always funny and sharp with his commentary. We love him. Dave, welcome back. How are you?
Ed, I'm just fine. You know, unfortunately, you guys don't give me a laugh sign, which is what they have in those studio audiences there so that those LARPing seals know when to clap and laugh. So pardon me for not laughing at the quote-unquote joke.
He's not funny. Yeah, he's not funny, and they can't even get... I was going to say they can't get their narrative straight. They can't get their lies straight. First, they claimed falsely the president was rushed to Walter Reed Hospital over the weekend. Then they say he's an evil genius. Now they say he's a fool and can't get a deal. I thought they wanted a deal. I thought they wanted peace.
Right. Well, that's the irony. I mean, one of the main symptoms, of course, of Trump derangement syndrome is that whatever Donald Trump does, you automatically have to take the opposite position. So on literally yesterday morning, he was an evil, genocidal maniac ready to destroy Iranian civilization. And by evening, he's like a cowardly nothing hiding in a corner. It's all completely absurd. But at the very, very least, Jimmy Kimmel last night, instead of doing the silly taco joke, could have had a moment. You know, this is a guy who cries on air every other week for some ridiculous lefty cause. He could have had a nice moment and said, you know, for all of the things that I've, you know, made fun of Trump over and all the jokes we've done and everything, he didn't. He didn't do the unthinkable last night, and I give him credit. That would have been a nice kind of healing moment for America. It's just not the business that Jimmy Kimmel's in.
Right. They just won't be honest and authentic because that would take authenticity, what you're saying. And you're authentic. That's why I love your podcast. And Kimmel and these guys are getting kicked off the air. They're not funny anymore, and they're not authentic. During the Biden administration, the Easter Bunny was tasked, as you know, with hiding Joe Biden from the press. Now he's basically been promoted to Secretary of State. Watch.
You don't mind when the enemy is weak, but that enemy is strong. Not so strong like they were about a month ago, I can tell you. In fact, right now they're not too strong at all, in my opinion, but we're soon going to find out, aren't we?
I mean, I was inspired by what you posted on X, where you basically said, the Joe Biden days with the bunny saving him from the media, and now this thing's gone viral with the president, going after the terrorists with the Easter Bunny by his side.
Yeah, the video you're showing right there, people really don't remember. I mean, Biden just wandered away from everybody and started talking to people, and whoever was in that bunny at that time, could have been Barack Obama, could have been Dr. Jill, could have been anybody. They were like, no, 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 no. I mean, look really how embarrassing. It's funny in retrospect because he's not president anymore, but how utterly embarrassing that the mascot had to tell the guy where to go. And then we had quite an Easter this Sunday because not only was the Easter Bunny up there with Donald Trump, many people, the rumor was that Marco Rubio's the one in the costume this time, but not only is he up there, but then Trump had the F-bomb in the tweet. But the point of all of this, Ed, is that 48 hours after all of that, we at least have the beginnings of a ceasefire. We'll see where it all works out. And all of these people that yesterday were screaming World War III that are now mocking Trump, it's utterly embarrassing, but it's kind of par for the course.
And how do they just completely miss? Is it just Trump derangement syndrome that basically you threaten nuclear war, essentially? You threaten all hell's going to rain down, not because you're going to do it, but you want to get these maniacs on the Iranian side to the table finally, say, I'm really going to do this because nothing else works with them.
Ed, I read a quote from Donald Trump's Art of the Deal on my show this morning. I mean, it's a book that's 40 years old that explains his negotiating tactics. It explains everything about the man. And one of the things he says is that in negotiations, you have to be a little bit crazy. You cannot walk into negotiations with the other side knowing exactly what you think and why you think. We all know this, right? Everyone fundamentally knows this. If you've ever had to negotiate a business deal or manage a relationship or anything else, you hold some things closer, you might overreact a little bit at times. Trump is doing all of the things that humans have done over time to negotiate solutions to problems. And these people just wish, I suppose, that the Iranians knew exactly what our plans were, exactly when we were going to do things and everything else. It's just dim, it's just dim kind of low-level stuff. And fortunately, he's the president and they're not, at least for now.
Yeah. I guess the opposite of the art of the deal would be, let's send them billions of dollars in cash, the Iranians, and tell the terrorists don't, as Obama and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris did.
Here's quite literally a plane load of cash. I mean, it was a plane filled with cash. That's what Obama sent them, billions of dollars. And yeah, you're right. Biden said don't, and they just said, okay, we will. And Kamala said don't, and they said, okay, we will. And that fundamentally is why they hate Trump so much. He's a builder first. He's a real estate guy first. And what he's had to do over his career, with the successes and failures that come along with that, is actually do things, is actually build things. And that's not really what lefties like. They like saying the right thing. They like the patina of respectability, but they don't like when people do things because they sort of like stagnation. It keeps everyone in a sort of low-level depression that allows them to be controlled quite easily.
That's what the left loves, control, but they've lost it under President Trump. I think you're right. That's the real source of TDS. Dave Rubin, love the Rubin Report. See you soon, my friend.
Good to see you, Ed.